Life on Earth depends upon productive soils. In recent decades, humanity has begun to realize the importance of highly functioning soil on human health. But how does one meaningfully quantify soil function? From this question, the concepts of soil health emerged. Our research focus is connecting soil health concepts with crop production. Some have offered innovative ways to measure soil health that are, perhaps, not very quantitative.
The goals of this research are to quantitatively measure the soil health, and by doing that, we want to be able to show how the productivity differs between different fields.
We chose 2 adjacent fields to demonstrate the objectives of our research. Today, both fields are in no-till corn-soybean rotations, but prior to 2011,
the north field has been in pasture and/or hay for its history up until the last 10 years when we've been row cropping it in a no-till system, never been tilled. The south field was in a conventional intensive farming system for all of my life as far as I'm aware of.
we wanted to delve in and see if we could understand more about the soil and how the function of that soil has been influenced by the prior historical management of these fields. In the spring of 2019, soil health samples were collected at 4 sample locations within each field prior to planting. We then processed these samples and analyzed these samples following standard soil health and soil biology procedures. The soil health tests that we measured were
active carbon, soil respiration, total protein, and then we did a suite of enzymes.
Historically, carbon measurements have just looked at how much carbon is in the soil. What these tests do is they help us look at the different fractions or different pools of carbon within the soil. We wanted to measure the active carbon pool because it quickly responds to soil disturbances and management changes. And the suite of enzymes help us understand how nutrients are cycling between these carbon pools. These quantifiable measurements give a clear picture of the improved soil health and function on the northern field.
The soil health test showed that there was a 2 to 3 times increase
in the active carbon, soil respiration, soil protein, and enzyme measurements as compared to the southern field. Management practices for the 2 fields have been similar for the past 9 years. Therefore, the differences in these biological tests are attributed to residual effects from the different crop rotation and tillage practices. The southern field, you can tell that the history of erosion has disrupted the carbon cycle and has not allowed the storage and the buildup of that carbon and those different pools within that system. These effects are still present after 11 years of no-till. In contrast, the improved biological effects of a perennial hay system remain after 9 years of no-till corn-soybean rotation. This demonstrates the ability of no-till to maintain soil biological activity nearly a decade after a perennial production system. However, the reduced biological activity in the southern field indicates that no-till alone is not sufficient to restore the degraded soil. Additional restorative practices, such as cover crops or a perennial rotation crop, might be required to restore the soil to its previous function.
So right now you can go tell a farmer to increase the soil health, but what does that really mean to him? So we want to show how increasing your soil health may increase the productivity of the soil, which to a farmer that's going to be more beneficial than anything.
Comparing the last 10 years of corn and soybean yield maps demonstrates the dramatic difference in productivity between these 2 fields. As the yield maps exhibit, the lowest yield of the northern field is equal to or greater than the highest yield in the southern field. This demonstrates how prior management practices have influenced today's yield potential and how this should help inform farmers in their future management decisions. These soil health tests help us understand how the soil functions, and adoption of these tests can help farmers make sustainable management decisions that can last for generations to come.